Hello and welcome to CACO News, live from Carlisle.
And the headlines for today are: should there be a Primark in Carlisle?
Students tell us about their John Hurt experience.
And what do villagers think of the new wind turbines in Gilcrews? And the weather with me, Georgia Armstrong.
Millions of people flood into the doors of high street shopping chain Primark every year, but for shoppers in Cumbria, it's a long trek to the nearest store. There are Primark stores in Newcastle, Blackpool and Preston, so why aren't there any in Cumbria? We have been out on the streets to find out how Cumbria would benefit from a Primark store.
I can only think that it's going to be good for the town. I don't personally shop in Primark, but you hear lots of stories about them, and any company that's going to open up a shop within Carlisle itself is going to be a good thing, because it's going to mean that premises are used.
Why isn't there a Primark? Like, the nearest one's Newcastle, and I think that's ridiculous. And I do know that they knocked down like a shop like down there near Asda, and I thought that they were going to build a Primark, and they're not. They're extending the Asda, so I think they need a Primark.
Now, earlier this year, a class of first and second year students took part in a filming masterclass with superstar actor John Hurt and top class director Don Boyd. Well, 2 months on and the experience is still top of the list for the students, we've went out to ask some of the students what they thought of the whole experience.
I was a sound guy and Lucky came with John Hurt. What I learned about this experience was it was really professional, and I thought it was really interesting because I've never did sound guy before.
I was the co-producer with Megan from the second year, and from this experience I learnt a lot of few things, which was in a very professional environment, which I really loved.
Well, I was directing for one of the groups during John Hurt was with us during his performance, and he was a swell guy.
He was
a swell guy. He was very obedient. I believe the term is cooperative.
very polite.
Very polite man, wasn't he? And he was
patient.
He was very willing throughout the whole thing. He never once complained, did he?
No, he didn't.
But nonetheless, it all went well. There wasn't too many hiccups. He had a very good idea of what he wanted to do, and he performed brilliantly on the day. When he got there, we didn't need to give him many stage directions. We didn't need to tell him what we wanted the character to be like, because for the most part he got it absolutely spot on.
Mm-hmm.
There was a few occasions when we did want him to try other things, so we told him what we'd like him to try in the next take, and he just went for it. He gave it his all, and it turned out to be quite amazing what his final result was.
Mm-hmm.
And you acted with him.
I acted with him in the scene from King Lear, and yeah, he was very respectful of everybody, considering none of us really certainly didn't have the amount of experience that he had.
Okay.
He was very patient, very respectful, very nice, and it just gives you an insight with Don Boyd being there as well, into the way people are, the attitudes that they have within the industry, people on such high levels. So
it was great to get some professionals in.
Exactly.
And Don Boyd also was a very helpful man.
Yes.
He taught us a lot about how you should act,
Mm-hmm.
and certain things that you maybe, tips and tricks that you wouldn't acquire without their experience of being in the professional industry.
Yeah, kind of turns the perception you have of the big successful guys in Hollywood. You don't need to be shouting and carrying on. He just taught you how to control a room, but without dominating the room.
He had that authority without being horrible.
Yeah. So overall, good experience. When you say Ben?
Yes.
I would say so.
Me too.
Hi, I'm Matt Graham, and I've done sound work on the John Hurt film.
I'm Lauren Graham, and I was co-director.
I really enjoyed working on a professional film set. It was pretty cool working with someone in the calibre of John Hurt and Don Boyd, and it was really fun doing the sound to it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed getting a chance to actually run a professional film set sort of thing. Having Don Boyd there was really, really good. Little things that you just wouldn't think of, like complimenting the director and making sure you had the loud voice to control everyone, and just being quite positive about what you were doing.
A lot better than what we were used to.
Confident in yourself. Working with John Hurt was really good as well. You didn't have to explain to him what you wanted. He just seemed to know.
I was DOP in my group, so I was looking after people doing the cameras, and I was also looking after people doing the lighting as well. So I worked with Ben and Danielle on the cameras, and we managed to get some good shots, and I thought it was an overall great experience. Learned some new things off John and Don Boyd, and yeah, it was a really good day.
I was DOP, and I was also a stand-in for John Hurt to help Nicola before the shoot, which was an interesting experience.
I was a huge fan of John Hurt, and I was excited to meet him and gain some experience from him and Don Boyd.
New wind turbines have been put into place in villages Gilcrease and Talentire. For the past 6 years there's been conflict between villages to keep the wind turbines out of the area. And this year they've finally been put up after the ongoing battle. It's been over 6 years now since it was decided that wind turbines will be placed in the Gilcrease and Talentire area, and now they're all in full working order. Being in such a glorious landscape, we were wondering what the people from a major city thought about the wind turbines being placed there.
Sun, wind, rain, what have you got for us today, Georgia?
Hello, and let's take a look at today's weather. In the morning it started off frosty all over Cumbria, and it will slowly get warmer. It's around temperatures 6 till 8. Throughout the day, no changes. However, there's a big cloud of grey coming down to bring damp weather, and it'll be horrible for today, tomorrow, the next day, and and around 5 weeks as well of that weather. Thank you very much. I'm Georgia Armstrong.
Well, that's all the news and weather forecast for today. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.